The Audi Q2 is here. It's been a long time coming and the lockdown delayed the arrival just a wee bit more. But what better time than the festive season to lift your spirits, huh? It's Audi's fifth launch this year in India and perhaps the most significant.
Smallest and most affordable SUV from the brand. Golden words, right? Sounds like a recipe for success. And the good thing is that Audi has decided to launch the Q2 at a time when we like to spend more than usual with all the festivities around us.
The Q2 has just been given a mid-cycle facelift globally, but what India gets is the pre-facelift version of the car. The reason? No market has the facelift as yet and it's just been unveiled. So expect the facelift here next year anyway. The Q2 is just about 4,300mm long and has a 2,593mm wheelbase. It is about 1.5 meters tall and at just over 1,800mm wide, it has an imposing stance. Remember the time when all Audi cars used to look the same? The idea was to make cars from the brand more recognizable in newer and emerging markets like India. Once that was achieved, the design team decided to move away from that idea and began giving their cars a more individual look. Cars like the A8 and the Q2 have benefited from that changeover.
It is indeed a refreshing design on the new Audi Q2. Not really subtle or understated as you've seen on a lot of cars from the brand earlier, but not really flashy either. So it's something in between and you tend to like that. Now you will like some elements more than the others on this car, and for me one of those are these T-shaped headlamps. You get a similar T-shape on the tail lamps as well, so that's a nice combination. Then you come towards the profile. 17-inch alloys on the car, not really attractive for me, could have been better in terms of looks. And towards the rear, this big black C-pillar, let me just say, does not merge well with the overall aesthetics of the car.
But hold on, there's a lot to like on the profile as well. That includes the bulging wheel arches and the uniquely positioned outside rear view mirrors, which are finished in black. And a special mention of the contours on the doors, which look like the work of a sculptor. All these add to the style quotient. In comparison to the front, the rear is more distinct with many sharp edges, exaggerated skid plates and a dual exhaust. The Q2 certainly looks more appealing in this S-line exterior with a black styling package. In all, there are 5 trims on offer, while the base variant Standard, Premium and Premium Plus 1 are a part of Advanced line. The two most expensive trims, Premium Plus 2 and Technology you see here, are design line trims. Step in and the design somewhat complements the exterior. An all black cabin and yet the car doesn't really feel cramped for space.
If you know the Audi brand, this is a familiar cabin, at least in terms of features. So first thing you notice is the nice multimedia interface screen. A lot of options here, makes your life easier when you're driving the car. And then the virtual cockpit screen. You like that in Audi cars, it's there here as well. So customize the looks, choose what you want, and it gives you both day and night options. In terms of quality also, it's a good cabin, premium finish for an entry-level car. So not so much on the dashboard where the plastic quality can be better, but I like the texture here, which is nice, and then the fit and finish on the buttons as well. So all the knobs here, the AC vents are really nice, cool way to shut them and open them, and then near the gear lever, other controls, and finally the steering wheel. A lot of controls here, flat bottomed, good to hold, good quality.
While the infotainment system gets Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity, there is no touchscreen here. But the more disappointing part is that even the driver's seat cannot be adjusted electrically. Thankfully, there's a wireless charger, a 10-speaker 180-watt sound system and a sunroof on offer. But my favorites are the snakeskin-like effect on the dash with Quattro badging and the click-to-shut rotary AC vents which are reminiscent of iconic Audi cars like the first TT. While 2-zone climate control, tire pressure monitoring and sunroof are offered across all trims, wireless charger, flat-bottom steering wheel and ambient lighting come as standard only on more expensive Premium Plus and Technology variants.
So let me now tell you how is a second row on a car that is just about 4.2 meters long. And in terms of knee room and headroom, I'll say not bad at all. It's quite good. My feet can go under the front seat, that's good. However, the thigh support can be better because these seats are not very big. Audi has decided that you need two charging points here and not AC vents, so that's given, and those are C-type charging points. Apart from that, you get a center armrest, which is nice. So you can use that for more comfort, but in case you don't want that, a third passenger gets adjustable headrest like the other two passengers, and he also gets a 3-point seat belt, which is very nice.
The car offers a boot space of 355 litres which can be expanded to 1000 litres. So overall, safe to say the Q2 is practical in ways more than one. The moment you get behind the wheel, the first thing you notice is that there's a commanding view of the road. The A-pillar is quite slim and that surely helps once you're out on the road. The seating too is quite high, something that helps with the SUV feel and will work in your favor if you're not very tall.
Now, the Q2 has come to India with just one petrol turbo engine option, and it's an engine that does its duty on a lot of cars from Audi, Skoda, Volkswagen, so many that you'll almost lose count of it. The Q2 specifically benefits from this big engine because this is a small lightweight car and this combination guarantees a fun peppy drive. And purely because of that, Audi is claiming that this car can do 0 to 100 in just around 6.5 seconds. That is very good for a car like this.
187 brake horsepower and 320 Newton meters which kicks in at 1500 RPM and a 7-speed DSG gearbox with paddle shifts to make your drive experience more engaging. It's safe to say the moves that you want to make, you will be able to make in the Q2. Having said that, the downshifts are not in the same league as the upshifts. That said, the shifts are smooth and you put your foot down to see the world whiz past. Then there's the all-wheel drive Quattro system which comes as standard. As the Q2 takes to bad roads, there's enough and more traction to help. The Ultra Quattro seen here is a front-wheel drive PIE system which is being used in cars with transverse layout of the engine. Cars like the Q2 are built on Volkswagen's MQB platform which uses such a layout.
The suspension does its job of taking on the bad roads pretty well, and that's good because initially at lower speeds you're slightly bothered by the stiffness of it, but again as the speeds keep getting higher, it just keeps getting better.
And this is where Drive Select comes into play. There are comfort, efficiency, dynamic, auto and individual modes to choose from, and the character of the car changes quite a bit when you switch between them. The steering feels the best in dynamic mode, however, it still lacks as much feedback as we'd have liked. The Q2 will help expand the entry premium space where we currently have the Mini Countryman, BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe, the BMW X1 and the Volvo XC40. Things will heat up more when the GLA and A-Class sedan from Mercedes-Benz arrive. The Q2 comes to India as a CPU or completely built unit, which means that we get more variants, but that also takes the cost up, as is the case here. It starts at 34,99,000 rupees ex-showroom, and this fully loaded technology trim will set you back by 48,89,000 rupees.